been playing violin?
I started when I was 8.
Who was your teacher?
The late, great Bill Thompson at Kurt Michael School.
Oh, you see, and what effect has he had on your life and now you're having on these kids?
Well, Mum had to fight to get me the lessons because I wasn't on the original list, but she fought for me as Mum does. I've alluded to that in a book somewhere for one of the tunes, and because his wife Barbara, who's still playing in the symphony orchestra here, she plays viola. She taught me piano. She taught us both piano, and what those two have done for our music career, we simply wouldn't be playing without them. Bill and Barbara Thompson, just two of the most incredible people.
Oh, shout out to them. That's so lovely, Katie. I think we should dedicate this tune to them then. What are we going to hear? Tell us about the tune before you play it.
So actually it's called the Shenicus Waltz, and I wrote it actually for the festival up in Ramsey that Juan Garrett does. Juan's just been on, he's gone away with Nafani as well, who are also on the way to Lorient. And I think it's quite a nice link actually, because we've talked a lot about my pupils and thinking about Nafani, the younger pupils, and keeping sort of music and culture going. I just thought it was a nice tune to play. Plus it's one that's in my head right now. So
well, I think it's as good a shout as any. Miss Katie Lawrence playing her own tune, Shenicus Waltz. Shenicus Waltz. Take it away.
Okay.
Oh, that was gorgeous, Katie. From Katie Lawrence's new tune book, that was the Shenicus Waltz. Absolutely beautiful, played live here in the studio. The tune book, what's it called? Let people know.
It's called the Katie Lawrence Tune Collection. Again, not very inventive with the names. It's the only thing I could... Oh, it's got a subtitle.
It does.
From Western Shores and Beyond.
Which is beautiful.
I think Kirsty helped me out with that. So
it's so lovely. Fast to Kirsty. I just had a message in from John, fellow teacher John, Headmaster John. Miss Lawrence asked her about getting her first teaching job, leaning on a wheelie bin in Ramsey, supping a pint of lager. Thanks for that, John Guramiad. Tell us about it.
Well, John Rhodes, actually, I knew he was going to do this. He basically, I've known him for years through, obviously he played for the Caligas Cayley band for years, and knew him long before I became a teacher. And I was looking for a job after my first year of teaching up at Ramsey, and we got into a conversation. We'd had a couple. As you do. It was in Cunyatt Festival back in the Marquee days, and he said, "Well, I need a teacher. I've got a teacher going off on sabbatical. He can come and teach for me." So he basically gave me a job at Ballacottia, and I'm still there 19 years later.
Oh, John, look what you've done to the world.
Thank you.
Well, it has worked well, not just for you, but for all the kids who you've taught over the years. I mean, it's an incredible thing you've done. It really is. Plenty more, I'm sure, as well. Just so that people know for this tune book, I mean, who would you say it's for? What kind of level? Do you have to be very accomplished? And what kind of instruments do you think would fit these tunes?
In terms of ability level, it's a really tricky one, because actually I was thinking about this. Some of the tunes are quite simple. Some some of them are, sort of the beginner sort of level could play them through, but then some of them are more trickier to play. So it's really tricky. But I've started to put some audio files together for people who, if you want to listen to them as well. This has come up, if I could say this, come up really recently in terms of folk music. People don't think about grades and levels and what they're at. They just hear a melody they like and they learn it, and they learn how to play it by ear or by looking at the music, and the standard doesn't necessarily come into it. So I personally, with tune books like this, I would say just give it a go and see what happens. And if anyone does want any audio for it, then I can just record it.
It was a mix. That's the thing, it's a mix. And so if you try some of the simpler stuff, it'll lead you into maybe some of if there are more difficult ones. And it must be one of the first tune books over here for quite some time, I'd imagine.
In terms of this sort of thing, in terms of like self-penned, there is the the fiddle books and the Culture Vannon books, but they're not self-penned. They're tunes that have been put together for people to introduce them to different styles. So there is Frank Woolley's piano collection. Madeline Kelly's done one as well, and I think there's a few people that have done sort of arrangements. These are for any instrument.
Well, there you go. And
I'd love to hear some of them played on a saxophone. Honestly, I think that would be amazing.
Well, there's a challenge.
Mike Divers, I'm talking to you here. I think it would be amazing. I've always wondered what like saxophone in trad music would be like. I've heard a few bits over the years. I'm mainly a Laureate, but I think
we've said it now. It's been put out there. Challenge to you, Mike Divers, or any other saxophonist listening. Well, I'm going to just read this to you because I found this little link talking about your Katie Lawrence tune collection from Western Shores and beyond, saying the heartland of Manx music is moulded through the voice of Katie Lawrence, a musical luminary. Her melodies have inspired generations of players and defined modern Manx music as we know it today.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah, I mean, I'd like that.
That's really nice. Thank you.
So I will leave you with that. Yeah.
Send us your address and I'll buy you a beer or something. Thanks. That's really kind.